Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I am Ashfaq and in today's video we will build a complete CI/CD pipeline using Terraform, Jenkins, SonarQube Trivy and the AWS EKS. This CI/CD pipeline will act completely automatically. Any change on the GitHub repository will trigger the pipeline and we will see the changes on the application. So this is my Windows 10 system on which I have installed the Terraform. You can refer to this video on how to install and configure the Terraform on the Windows system. You can download and install the VS Code from this link, and I have also installed AWS CLI on my system which you can download from here. Both the links are available in the description. So let's start building our project. On my system, I will create the folder for my project, and inside it I will create one more folder in which I will keep my Terraform files. From the VS Code, I will open this folder. So this is my master folder, and this is my folder in which I will be keeping my Terraform files. So first of all, I will create the file main.tf, and I will paste this content. So this is the AMI as per my region for this instance T2 large. You will have to change the AMI as per your region, and this is the key name which has been created in my account, and this would be the name of the EC2 instance which we are going to create using this Terraform. Volume size would be 40 GB, and this would be the name of security group which is going to create for this EC2 instance. It will create the inbound and outbound rule also inside the security group. I will save this file. Then I will create one more file called provider.tf. I will paste the content in this file. Actually, we are registering the AWS. And this is my region AP South 1. I will save this file. I will create one more file called install.sh, and using this file actually we are going to install some packages in our newly created EC2 instance. So first of all, it will update the system, then it will install the JDK. After that, it will install the Jenkins, and then it will install the Docker in that system, and then it will run the SonarQube as the container inside that EC2 instance. This is the image name for the SonarQube, which is present on the DockerHub, and then it will install the Trivy on the EC2 instance. I will save this file also. I will now go to AWS portal. I will go to IAM, users, create user. I will give the name cloud user. Next, attach policies directly. I will tick on the administrator access. Next, create user. I will go to user, security credentials, and I will click here on create access key. CLI, I will tick here. Next, description, I will give cloud user, create access key. I will copy the access key and I will go to VS Code, and here I will right click and run open in integrated terminal. I will give here the command AWS configure. I will paste here the copied access key and hit enter. I will copy the secret and I will paste it here. Enter, enter, enter. Okay, so we have logged into AWS from the terminal. I will now go to AWS console. I will download the CSV file and I will click on done. On the VS Code, I will run the command Terraform init. I will now give the command Terraform plan. Okay, so I will clear the screen and now I will give the command Terraform apply auto approve and hit enter, which will create the resources on the AWS. Okay, so creation completed. If I go to AWS console, and go to EC2 instances. So instance has been created. Next task is to configure the Jenkins. I will copy the public IP of the EC2 instance and access it over the browser with the port 8080. I will open the terminal on my system and access it. I will provide my key. I will open this path. I will copy and paste the password. Install suggested plugins. I will give the username. I will set the password. Okay, now I will install few plugins in my Jenkins. I will go to manage Jenkins, plugins, available plugins. First plugin I will select Eclipse Timurin installer. Then I will search here SonarQube and I will select SonarQube scanner. And then I will search here the gates and I will select sonar quality gates and quality gates. Then I will search here Node.js and I will select the Node.js. Then I will search here Docker and I will select Docker, Docker Commons, Docker Pipeline and Docker API and then Docker build step. So these are the plugins which I need to install in my Jenkins. I will click on install. I will click on go to home page. I will log in again. Okay, now I will install few tools in my Jenkins. If you are repeating this project, then you will have to install the tools in the similar way in which I am installing, otherwise your build will fail. So I will go to manage Jenkins tools. I will click on add node.js. Name I will give node 16. Install from the nodejs.org. After that, I will install the another tool which is JDK. I will click on add JDK. I will give the name JDK 17. I will click on add installer and I will select here install from the adaptium.net, and I will select here the version 17.0.8.1+1. Apply, save. I will again go to tools, and this time I will directly go to Docker installations and I will click on add Docker. I will give the name Docker. I will tick on install automatically, add install, and I will select this download from docker.com. And then I will go to SonarQube scanner installations and I will click here on add SonarQube scanner. I will give the name SonarQube scanner. I will keep the tick here install automatically, install from Maven Central, apply and save. In this section of the video, we will configure the SonarQube. SonarQube is actually running as the container on this EC2 instance. So I will copy the public IP and I will browse it with the port 9000. Default login password is admin. I will set the new password. Okay, now I will generate the token on the SonarQube, and using this token I will integrate the SonarQube to the Jenkins. I will go to administration, security, users, and I will click here on tokens. I will give the name to the token and I will click on generate. I will copy this token and I will save it somewhere on my local system. I will go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, credentials under the security, add credentials, kind, secret text, ID. I will give SonarQube token and I will provide the token here which we have just created, and I will click on create. I will go back to manage Jenkins. I will go to system and SonarQube server. I will click here on add SonarQube. I will give the name and URL. I will give http:// and the private IP of the EC2 instance colon 9000, and here in the drop down I will select the token which we have just created, apply and save. I will go back to SonarQube dashboard and I will go to quality gates. I will click on create. I will give the name SonarQube quality gate and I will click on save. I will go to administration and under the configuration I will select webhooks. I will click on create. Name I will give Jenkins and the URL I will provide This is the private IP address of the EC2 instance. So this is the URL for the webhook towards the Jenkins, and I will click on create. So here we have configured our SonarQube server and we have integrated the SonarQube with the Jenkins. Till now in the video, we have installed the EC2 instance for the Jenkins and SonarQube using Terraform, and we have installed the Jenkins and Docker in that EC2 instance using Terraform, and then we ran the SonarQube as the container on that EC2 instance. And we have configured our Jenkins with some uh, modules and tools, and we have configured the SonarQube, and we have integrated the SonarQube into the Jenkins. So now I will go ahead and build the pipeline in the Jenkins. I will click on new item. I will give the name Swiggy CICD pipeline. OK. I will tick here discard old builds. Max of build to keep 2. I will not set any build trigger as of now. And directly I will come here on the pipeline script. And here I will give the pipeline script to execute the stages. So I will explain in short what these steps will do. First of all, we have recalled the tools installed in the Jenkins, JDK and the Node.js, and we had added the SonarQube scanner. So we had recalled with its name. The name is SonarQube scanner, and from here our stages will start. First of all, we will clear the workspace. Then we will check out from the GitHub. This is my GitHub repository, which is having the code for the Swiggy clone application. Then we will do the SonarQube analysis. This is our project name, Swiggy CICD. Then we have the quality gates, and it will use the token SonarQube token which we had created to connect our SonarQube to the Jenkins. In the next stage, we will install the dependencies, and then in this stage we will do the Trivy FS scan. I will click on apply and then save. So I will now go ahead and click on build now. Okay, so job completed successfully. If I go to SonarQube dashboard and if I go to projects, so this is the result of the SonarQube on the SonarQube dashboard for our project. Okay, now we need to configure our pipeline script to build the Docker image and push that Docker image to the DockerHub. So for that, we will have to first integrate the DockerHub to our Jenkins. So I will go to hub.docker.com and you can see here there is no Swiggy app image present in my DockerHub account, and we need to create the token. You can go to account setting, security, and create the access token here. I have already created the access token here. I will go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, credentials under the security, add credentials, kind username with password. Username, I will provide my DockerHub username, and the password I will provide the access token of my DockerHub, and the ID I will give DockerHub. I will provide the description and I will click on create. So DockerHub credentials has been added to the Jenkins using the DockerHub access token. I will now go to my CI/CD pipeline, configure, and in the script I will now add the stage for the Docker build and Docker push. I will add the stage here, and the stage name would be Docker build and push. It will use the credentials of the DockerHub and it will use the tool called Docker which we had installed in the Jenkins. So first of all it will build the image with this command, and then it will tag the created image in accordance with the DockerHub username, and then with this command it will push the created image to the DockerHub. I will now add the one more stage to scan the DockerHub image. The stage name would be Trivy, and it will actually scan the DockerHub image with this command. Okay, so I will do the apply and save. So on my DockerHub, there is no image for the Swiggy clone application. I will go to my pipeline and I will click on build now. Okay, so job completed successfully. And if I go to my DockerHub and do the refresh here, so the image has been pushed here just now. Okay, next step is to configure the AWS EKS. For that, first of all, I will install the kubectl in the EC2 instance. I will do the update first, and then I will install the CURL. And if I give the command now, kubectl version client, so this is the version of the kubectl which has been installed in my system. Now I will go ahead and install the AWS CLI. So first of all, I will download the zip file for the AWS CLI. I will install the unzip. I will unzip the downloaded package, and I will install the executable file. If I give the command AWS -f1 version, so this is the version of the AWS CLI which has been installed in my instance. Next task is to install the EKSCTL. So I will first download the package. Package has been downloaded in the /tmp directory. So I will go to /tmp and I will move it to /bin directory because all the executable files are under the /bin. If I give the command now EKSCTL version, so this is the version of the EKSCTL installed in my EC2 instance. Now I need to create the IAM role and then attach that IAM role to the EC2 instance. So I will go to AWS console and I will go to IAM roles, create role, AWS service, use case. I will select EC2. Next I will give the administrator access. Next I will give the role name as EKCTL role, create role. I will now go to EC2 instance. I will select the instance. I will go to actions, security, modify IAM role. I will select the role in the drop down, update IAM role. I will again go back to terminal of the EC2 instance. I will now give the commands to create the EKCTL cluster. So this would be the name of my EKS cluster. I will go ahead and hit enter. I will give the region AP South. I will now give the node type which I want to create in my cluster, T2 small, and then I will give the node count. I want total 3 nodes in my cluster. This EKS cluster creation will take some time, so I will pause the recording here and I will resume once it is completed. EKS cluster creation completed, and note one thing here, kubeconfig file has been saved on this location. So I will clear the screen and I will give the command kubectl get nodes. So my cluster is running perfectly, and these are the 3 nodes in my cluster, and this is the default service for my cluster. Okay, now on the right side of my terminal, I'm under the /home/ubuntu. I will refresh once. I will go to .cube file, and this is the kubeconfig file. I will right click on this file and I will download it. I will go to downloaded folder. I will open this kubeconfig file with the notepad, and I will do the save a copy as, and I will give the name secret.txt. So this is the secret file which has been saved. This secret file will be required for integrating the Jenkins with the EKS cluster. Okay, now we need to integrate the Jenkins with the AWS EKS cluster, and we need to modify our Jenkins pipeline script to deploy the resources on the Kubernetes cluster. So I will go to Jenkins. So for that, actually we need to deploy 4 plugins. I will go to manage Jenkins, plugins, available plugins. I will search here Kubernetes, and I will select these 4 plugins: Kubernetes, Kubernetes credentials, client API, and Kubernetes CLI. I will click on install. Okay, so plugin installation completed. Now I need to add the credentials for the Kubernetes cluster to the Jenkins. So I will go to manage Jenkins. I will go to credentials, add credentials, kind I will select secret file, ID I will give Kubernetes, description also I will give Kubernetes, and I will choose the file here which we had created. Create. Now we need to actually modify the pipeline script to deploy the resources to the Kubernetes. So I will go to our job, configure, I will go to pipeline, and I will add one more stage here. The stage name would be deploy to Kubernetes. I will correct the indentation. I will delete this command in the script, and this command actually connects our Jenkins to the Kubernetes cluster. So I will just show you how to generate this command. Click here on pipeline syntax. It will open new tab. Here in the drop down, select the plugin which we had installed for the kubectl. This one, configure Kubernetes CLI kubectl. And credentials, select the Kubernetes credentials and don't fill anything here. Just click on generate pipeline script. Copy this command and provide it in the script. Apply and save. If I go to my GitHub repository, so in that repository you will find one folder called Kubernetes, in which I'm having the manifest file. If I go to deployment file, so this would be the our application name, and this name would be recalled in the service manifest file under the selector. And note one thing here, the name which has been given inside the deployment manifest file should match to the name of the image in your DockerHub. If you have given some other name to this image, then you need to update that name here on the deployment manifest file, and the container port is 3000. If I go to service manifest file, so the type we will be creating would be load balancer, and the port of the service would be 80, and this is the target port of the container. And under the selector, it it has been given the Swiggy app application name. It should match with the app name in the deployment manifest file. So with this name, it deploys the service for the same manifest file, sorry, same container. Before we verify our CI/CD pipeline, I will just quickly explain you how we are deploying the resources on the Kubernetes using the Jenkins pipeline script. If I go to script, so in the last stage, this is the command actually which connects the Jenkins to the Kubernetes cluster, and this command will delete the previously created pod, and this command will deploy the deployment manifest file, and it will deploy the service manifest file. To verify the CI/CD pipeline, I need to enable the trigger in my CI/CD pipeline. So I will go to configure and I will tick here GitHub project. I will give here my GitHub project URL, and under the build trigger I will click on poll SCM. Sorry, I will click on GitHub hook trigger for GIT SCM polling. I will go to GitHub project. I will go to settings, webhooks, add webhook, and here I will enter the Jenkins URL, add webhook, and I will do the refresh here. So it is showing the green, means connection via webhook is successful. Here I will click on apply and then save. Okay, so I have connected to my GitHub repository from my local system via git bash. I will do the test change on the readme file to verify our CI/CD pipeline. So I will open the readme file on the nano editor, and here I will type test 200, control O and enter to save, control X to exit. I will commit the changes I will push these changes to the remote repository. Okay, so changes has been pushed. If I go to my Jenkins pipeline, so it has triggered automatically upon the commit on the GitHub repository. Job completed successfully. If I go to DockerHub and do the refresh here, so image has been pushed just now. I will go to terminal of the EC2 instance, and if I give here the command kubectl get pods, so these are the pods which has been created, and if I give the command kubectl get service, so this is the service created for the our container. I will copy the DNS name and I will browse it over the browser. So our application is deploying successfully. Let's verify once again. On the application, here it is written as what's on your mind. So we will change it to what's on your mind today, and then we will verify the changes applies or not. So I will go to git bash. I will go to src. I will go to components. I need to change this file. I will open this in the nano editor. So here is the text, what's on your mind. I will add here today. Control O and enter to save, Control X to exit. I will commit. I will push these changes to the remote repository. I will go to Jenkins job. So it has triggered automatically upon the change on the GitHub repository. Job completed successfully. If I go to my application and do the refresh here, so you can see here change has been applied. I have created the text file in which I have given complete content of the Terraform files, and I have also given the complete Jenkins pipeline script in that notepad, and I have also given the complete commands used in this video in that text file. The link to the link to download the text file is available in the description section. You can fork my repository and create your own branch and practice the complete project. If you face any type of difficulty during practicing the project, you can ask me in the comment section. I would be delighted to answer you. Follow me on the LinkedIn. I post multiple useful things on the LinkedIn also. Hope you find this video helpful. A lot of effort went behind this video, so do subscribe to my channel to encourage my work. Like the video, share this video with the friends and spread the knowledge. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.